Thank you to Sanjay Jones for their support on Patreon. Hello everyone, my name is Vivian and welcome to Lyre, a new to me visual novel. I don't know how long this has been going on, but it is new to me. I saw it on Itch here recently. It looked interesting, so I thought I would give it a go. It looks very highly reviewed. It looks very highly produced. The synopsis on the page was very interesting. So let's take a look-see at it. Might as well. Oh, we haven't done this in a long time. Where did we leave off? Oh, Lord. I feel like we got past Theodore Roosevelt, but I don't know if we got to William Howard Taft. Let's go with Howard. Because we've done William several times. William is a very popular president's name, but Howard is not. So we'll go with the middle name of William Howard Taft. Howard. Boom. Chapter 1, Day 1. That's a duties. I'm falling, but I don't fear hitting the ground. Whoosh! And a map of some sort. All around me I see the vast landscape of our continent. Tigran. Interesting. And with convenient labels is that. You don't often get that when you're skydiving. It's all laid out like a map. See, there you go. Slightly curved and difficult to see through the misty clouds. If it's curved, it's like a globe. Oh, that's cool. I like this very much. I have a soft spot for when people have created fictional worlds and they include a map. I like that. I don't know why, but I really do. My hands are sprawled out to my side as if I were a bird gliding through the dense air. This slows the process of my descent, allowing me to truly take in the landscape. Oh, let's take a look at this. I like how this one down here is just called the Southern Dip. I guide my body to look behind me to the northeast and see the Kingdom of Lyre, a beautiful city with a massive castle surrounded by walls, settled on the lands of the fjord, its snow-capped mountains shining pink with sunlight. The grassy hills rolling down to the waters like a thick blanket. I can see the cliffs of the fjord and how they dip into the river below. The path leading up north through the mountains is treacherous yet serene. Then, stretching across the west of Tigran, I can see the kingdom of Erin. Erin? My home. The waters of the lochs, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to need a pointer for that one in the comments, let me know. Are glistening with sunlight, and the white sand of the coast is unnaturally bright. I can see ships going in and out of the bay, their sails filled with the deep fall wind. The Shadow Gulch is as ominous as ever, with its cypress trees twisting up from the bottom of the rivers into the sky, shrouding the ground in a deep shadow. My gaze turns to the southern desert, its large plateaus reaching high and forming the Canyon Pass. This leads down through the Badlands to the Kingdom of Dries and its bustling markets. The walls curving with the shape of the dunes, connecting with the citadel, a great impenetrable structure. My eyes then wander around looking over every detail of the land, forgetting that I'm falling, and instead feeling like I'm flying towards wherever my eyes take me. And allowing for a convenient overview of the world we have yet to encounter. Just as I feel a presence next to me, I see the world pulled from my vision as my body is sent higher at a very fast speed. I feel fear as everything starts to fade from view. Ooh. Hey. Nice little back. I like this style. It's, I've been reading reading this book. It's like called The Dungeon Critters or something. It's got this very nice like fantasy cartoon style. And this would fit exactly in that book. I really like this. I roll over on the cool bed sheets, feeling the air around me compress. My eyes open to a thick light pouring down above me, hitting the foot of the bed I'm laying in. Man, that light has got to be thick if you feel it. Good Lord. Or it could just be warm, I guess, Light is warm. I hear the distant clatter of metal along with voices. It feels like a cold fall afternoon, and there's a stuffy smell that lingers around me as I see dust particles dancing in the light. My mouth tastes dry. My heart starts to rhythmically beat in my chest, picking up pace with every second. I look down at my body and notice that I have thick bandages wrapped around my torso. I reach out with my hand just around my stomach and feel a twinge of pain near my lower right side of my gut. My mind is racing with questions. I sit up, and the feeling of all the blood rushing to my head makes everything go dark. Woof. I shift in the bed and slowly wriggle myself out from underneath the covers. I go to lift myself from the bed and stumble a bit as I steady myself on the cold floor. I look around the decorated room I'm in. I say decorated. They put plants above the door. And there is no room for that chair to scoot back. I like having a chair where I can scoot back many feet. But I also like having a wall behind me. I don't know. It is elegant, with a nicely sized bed, a desk, and a slightly open glass door that leads out into a balcony. It looks closed to me, but whatever. Oh, where was I? I'm sorry. Where I can see the afternoon light shining down onto the floor. A few bottles and bowls of medicine are strewn about, laying on the cabinet in front of me. I slowly start to walk to the door when I suddenly begin to feel horrible. Everything seems to kick in at once, and I'm slowly crouching to the ground. I crawl to the floor and lay there for a second, waiting for it to pass. Oh God, who is this? The witch doctor. He told me what to do. He said, "Get the fuck back into bed, dumb fuck, you've been stabbed!" As I lay there feeling my insides twist around and dance in my body, the door opens and I'm met with a creepy figure in a dark green robe, wearing a pointed mask and a hat. They look as if they were about to do something, but stop in the doorway. I feel their gaze fall on me from behind the dark goggles.
"Ah, you're awake! Good, yes!"
He stutters this out with much effort in an odd voice.
"Oh dear! Wait here for a moment, please. I'll be right back with help."
He prances and stumbles back through the doorway, leaving it slightly open, his feathery tail floating behind him. All I can do is lay there, and I hear him scuttle off, calling someone's name. I start to feel a bit better, and the squeamish feeling subsides slowly. Just as the cold floor starts to feel nice, I hear muffled voices from outside the door. One of them I recognize as the bird, and another seems rather gruff and annoyed. "Of course, the minute I leave for a drink, something happens. How long has he been awake?"
"I don't know. He was just laying there on the floor."
"Is he okay?"
"Well, not really. He seems to be in some pain, but that's expected."
Or maybe he was just scared of you.
"What are you getting at?"
"That mask makes you look ridiculous."
"It's a safety precaution."
I hear the footsteps and voices get closer until they're right outside the door. Oh my goodness. Look at this display here. Okay, so we've got a very elegantly dressed canine with a canine on the hilt of what I would believe to be one of two blades that they are carrying, with a cape and a shoulder piece and a scar over the eye. At least we're starting off with some familiar themes, but never judge a book by its cover. I do like the inclusion of the tiny plague doctor person. This is just a humorous image. It's just a humorous image up on the screen right now. You never catch me wearing one of those. The short cloaked bird shuffles into the room carrying a bag. Walking behind him is a wolf man of sorts. He's very tall and muscular, almost having to bend over to walk through the doorway. close the door behind him. Very slight with the sound effects. Let me see if I can up those a little bit. Oh no, they're up all the way. Maybe it's just my volume that's low. Let me turn that up a little. His right eye is scarred, and he has a semi-annoyed expression on his face, contrary to his tail slightly swishing left to right. His clothing is simple yet elegant. Large, white, and bulky, with fur trimming and metal plate armor. A large white cape drapes behind him with a blue interior. Goodness gracious, if I didn't know anything about this character, which I don't, I'd say this is someone with something to prove. I see a symbol on the breastplate, which I can somewhat recognize as the king's family sigil, a pair of antlers stretching high. He is coated with a dark brown fur, which is very fluffy around the neck. Yes, very fluffy indeed. His eyes trail around the room, landing on me, then walks forward and begins to speak. Ah, looks very friendly. Do you need any help? I nod my head. He stands awkwardly for a moment before walking forward, his padded feet thumping against the smooth floor. God damn, the music in this is elegant. Elegant music. I meant to say that on the title screen. The music there was very unique. Ooh. Ooh, listen to that. Good Lord. I don't want to cut any of that. I know I wasn't talking for a second, and usually I cut when I'm not talking, but I'm just like listening to this music for a second. This is just nice. He stands awkward. I already said that. The wolf then proceeds to kneel down and gently reaches out to pick me up. He pauses before hesitantly touching me, reaching under my legs and his paw, and then reaches with his other arm around my back and grips my shoulder. The wolf lifts me up and adjusts me in his grip so that I don't fall. His neck fur grazes against my face as he carries me over to the bed and lays me down in it, gently reclining me back against one of the large pillows. Whoa, I like that. Wow, that fucking. It's like waves. It's like the waves, like a breeze, you know, kind of like what I'm picturing. Is kind of like they said it was like a cool morning, and you kind of get those waves of the cool air. It's like a gentle breeze that comes and goes. I'm kind of getting that. God, it's nice shit. I'm okay. I'm wearing headphones, which I usually don't do. Ever since I've got this new setup, usually I just sort of play the music through the TV and just sort of hope to Christ that the microphone doesn't pick it up. But I'm trying this where I'm wearing headphones, so I can't really hear me as much, but I can hear the music a lot better. And I feel like this was like the exact game to fucking start that with, because holy Christ, this music is nice. Sorry, I need to move on. I mumble out some appreciation. Thank you. He grunts in response. Oh, jeez. God, Leaf, it's fucking cold in here. At least make him decent and give him a shirt to wear. I guess that's Leaf there.
Clothing would mess with the bandages, and fresh air would do him some good. Besides, how are you cold?
I'm not, but the floor feels like ice.
I'm sure that he's fine.
I sit up in bed with some hesitation and open my mouth to speak. Who are you? The two turn and look at me, and as Leaf makes a motion to speak, the wolf places a paw on his shoulder. My name is Lyle. Christ, Lyle Reed. I'm the commander of the Royal Guard, and this is the royal family's physician, Leaf. Well, that would seem to imply that we are a member of the royal family, or we're just a highly important member of society. He says this with a certain twinge of proudness, his tail swishing slightly. Ooh, perhaps this is someone who was not born to the position but instead earned it. I like those kinds of stories.
Yes, I'm sure we can dispense with the formalities for now. Do you remember anything before the crash?
I look down at my torso and the two connect. So that's what happened.
You can't remember?
Oh god, amnesia at the beginning of the game! Check the box. Well, you gotta introduce everyone somehow. I like how his gloves still have spikes on the end. Murder gloves. He has a curious look on his face as his eyes stare into mine with extreme intensity. That's what that expression is. Extreme intensity! While Leaf scuttles over to the bedside table. Kind of. It's all a bit vague.
Here, have some water.
Yeah, there we go. Leaf walks over to me carrying a small goblet of water. Lord knows that's what cures all forms of amnesia. Water. I accept it cautiously, bringing it to my lips and taking a short drink. Slowly, it all starts to come back to me as if I had just woken up after a horrible dream. That was magic water, man. Magic memory water. I was on my way north to the Kingdom of Lyre as an ambassador for the Kingdom of Aaron. It's really funny to me. My brother's name is Aaron. And I know it's probably not pronounced Aaron, but Aaron, I don't know, but until I get a confirmation, I'm saying Aaron. So it's fun. It's fun to me. During a cold and rainy night on the 11th day of travel, there's a lot of details to come back because of a cup of water. During a cold and rainy night on the 11th day of travel, as we were nearing the outskirts of the kingdom, I remember minding my own business in the small closed-off cart. Suddenly, there was a loud rumbling noise and shouting. And that's all I can remember. I can't really remember much of what happened, just everything before blacking out.
On the mountain pass just outside the outer city, there was a rock slide. It wiped through most of your small entourage and killed some men. When our rangers came upon where it happened, your carts and wagons were almost decimated. You had a piece of splintered wood lodged in your side. Thankfully, it didn't hit anything vital, and you seem to have recovered well over the past 4 days.
While Lyle rants about how the mountain pass is too dangerous to take anymore, I look down at my side and feel the bandages. It's painful, but not enough to bring a wince through my body. I was out for 4 days? Aside from the occasional stirring in your sleep. I quickly try to shake off the thought of someone watching me sleep. That would have been pretty scary, waking up in the middle of the night to a 6.5-foot tall wolf in the corner of an unfamiliar room. Well, I hope this hasn't cut into anything important. Don't worry, things have been quite slow lately. There hasn't been much being discussed, and we're still waiting for the ambassador from Dries. He falls silent, at first staring out the window behind me before his eyes fall back down. His tail swishes slightly, and after a long, awkward pause, he speaks again. The king has assigned me to be your personal guard. The captain of the guard as a personal guard. We have got to be someone of high importance. That statement surprises me. I was not expecting the king to assign me a guard, let alone the captain himself. For some reason, on my way here, my imagination led me to think of a king who was rash and dismissive and had no time for political nonsense. I thought I would be completely on my own. That's how it usually goes. As I'm thinking this, Leaf moves over to the other side of the room and fiddles with something in his little bag. I'm sure that you'll do a fine job, sir. I'll make sure to give my thanks to the king. Lyle grimaces a bit, and his nose gives a small twitch. You don't have to refer to me with such titles. Lyle is fine. I give him a small nod. This certainly isn't the introduction I had hoped for. One moment, I'm sitting in my cart heading around the mountain pass, almost to my destination, where I would be received by the castle staff and possibly even the king himself. Instead, I wake up in my new chambers, unfortunately having missed everything important for my arrival. And as kind as these two are, the situation I find myself in is less than preferable. I sigh and shake my head. Well, as long as I haven't missed out on anything important, my thoughts still dwell on the crash. I haven't really had enough time to let it settle in that people just died, that I almost died. It's a shame that rock slide happened, and I'm very thankful that your rangers were able to save my life and many others. Lyle gives a slight smirk of acknowledgement, and I can already tell that he's a bit modest, even if his tail is sweeping the ground.
It's their job.
Leaf struts over to me with a small bowl of some weird mushy substance. Looks familiar, but I haven't had to take that much medicine in my life.
Here's something to ease the pain. This is most likely the last time you'll have to take it, considering you've healed very fast already.
I stare down at the bowl in discomfort as Leaf drones on about the unique healing process innate in humans, and along with some other stuff I didn't care to focus on. I take the small bowl and drink down the strange mix. It's a thick consistency. The texture is like eating sandy mud. Not that I've ever done that before. I believe that's our first typo. Momentous occasion. Whoop-de-ding. Moving swiftly along. The taste, however, is not as bad as I thought it would be. It has a savory flavor that's very hard to describe. Still not pleasant enough for me to thoroughly enjoy it.
If you don't mind, I'd like to take a look at your bandages and also see how your recovery is coming along.
I look down at my side and lift the covers a bit. Sure, I guess. Oh boy. Leaf walks around to the other side of the bed and begins to awkwardly unwrap the bandages with his gloved hands. When I catch Lyle watching him across the room, he quickly averts his gaze. He certainly is expressive, though he tries to hide it. Leaf finishes unwrapping the bandages, and I finally get a good look at the wound. It looks a bit messy. A dark red color around the skin, and the scar it left behind is not pretty.
It's coming along nicely.
He's got to be kidding. He takes a damp sponge, begins to lightly dab and rub at it. I see the wound start to clean up nicely, and after a minute, Leaf rubs some weird cream on it with a sponge, and he seems to be done. Lyle is turned around, meekly fidgeting with something on the desk.
I'm not surprised to see that you're getting better very fast. You should be able to walk now without risk of opening up the wound. Just try to take it slow.
How can I take things slow when everything's happening so fast? That's good to hear. Thank you. Leaf seems to be happy to hear that his efforts are appreciated, as I can hear his tail lightly flipping up and down, rhythmically tapping against the ground for a second.
I'm always happy to help. Let me know if you need anything else.
And with that, he picks up his bag and makes his way to the door before turning to Lyle.
I'll leave the rest to you.
And there he goes. He shuffles through the doorway, and it closes behind him with a soft thud. The silence settles once Leaf leaves. Lyle is clearly uncomfortable with it, so he speaks up.
Leaf usually knows what he's talking about, but are you sure you're okay?
He gives me a look of concern for a moment, and then his eyes dart first to the floor, then around the room. Aside from my body feeling sore, and after being awake for a bit, I feel better. I feel good enough, I guess. He looks at me with a smile and adjusts himself.
Well, if you want to get dressed, your clothes and other things were brought up.
He gestures over to the corner of the room where I can see my trunks and belongings. Even though I'm wrapped in bandages around my torso, I still feel underdressed. So I guess putting on some clothes would definitely help. I make a motion to rise, but Lyle shoots me a worried look.
Maybe I could get you something to wear.
Oh, sure. just the outfit from that trunk over there. I point to the trunk on the left, which has the outfit I was going to wear when I met the king. He makes his way over to the pile of trunks, his cape gliding across the floor behind him with each careful step. Lyle looks very out of place in this room. Everything looks so small compared to him. He bends down and unlatches the trunk. I see him pause to look at its contents, then proceed to curiously sift through it. His ears perk up really high when he finds the outfit. He clumsily stands from his kneeling position and walks over to the side of my bed carrying the outfit. It's nothing too fancy. I may have had some form of noble status, but I don't tend to overplay it. It is, however, the nicest outfit I own that fits the climate. The main parts of it are made from cotton, with bits of silk here and there. There is the basic undershirt with flowy sleeves and a slight ruffle. The trousers are layered and tight-fitting with pockets on the side. Tailcoats usually are not my favorite article of clothing to wear. Usually I lean towards robes or jackets. There is some fur, and there is a small scarf that I can wrap around my neck and tuck into the vest. Lyle places the outfit on the bed and takes a step back.
Is this the one?
He says that with a bit of worry, as if he made the wrong decision. Yeah, this is it. I sit up and grab onto the pair of pants. I go to change and realize what's wrong with this. Should I bathe first? Lyle looks at me with a dismissive gaze, then talks.
You smell fine to me.
I guess someone like him would be the best judge of that. I go to unbutton my trousers, but stop, realizing that he's watching. Do you mind looking the other way?
Oh, of course.
Quickly turns on his heel and stands at the other side of the room, staring out the window, the light eclipsing around his dark fur. Take off my trousers and undergarments, putting on a fresh new pair, and then fasten the new slacks. As I secure the last button, I lift my head and speak in his direction. Okay, you're good.
Sorry.
He turns away from the window quickly, as if he was frustrated with something happening outside. I reach down for the shirt and bring it up over my head. What the fuck? As my arms rise above my head, I feel a sharp pain in my side and wince. Lyle clearly sees this.
Maybe I should help.
No, really, it's fine. I just need to... I slide my arms through the sleeves and my head pops through the collar. Before I'm able to finish putting the vest on, Lyle is walking around to the other side of the bed carrying the tailcoat. He lifts it up, motioning to put it on me. Aw, this is nice of him. God, compared to his arm, his head looks gigantic because of the floof. He drapes the coat over me slowly, with the collar fitting around my neck. I carefully embrace it and start putting it on. So, you're going to be my guard.
If you'll have me.
He says that with a solemn look on his face. I guess,
if you'll have me.
I guess it wouldn't hurt. I really don't mind it. I don't know if I'll need the protection, but it's always nice to be prepared. It's also nice to have a guide of sorts to show me around.
It definitely would help. Almost half of your men were wiped out in that disaster. The king thought that you could use some extra paws. And I can show you the castle and escort you into the town.
I would like that a lot. Although I don't know if I'll have the time for it. That sounds nice.
The king also thought that you might like to have someone in a high position that you can trust.
I like how he literally has shining, sparkling stuff around him, around his head. He says this with a certain proudness in his voice and a slight smile. Ah, yes.
Trust me.
I decide to humor him. What makes you think I trust you? He stops moving one of the sleeves up my arm for a moment, and then starts again with his mouth twists into an embarrassed smile. Don't worry, I jest.
Very funny.
He grumbles to himself, and as I fasten the buttons in the front. So you watched me while I slept? He's taken aback by the statement. I'm your guard. I was stationed outside of your room to keep watch. Believe me, it's not something I wanted to do. It's not like you're in any danger. Why were you up at night? Do you take both day and night shift? I don't need to sleep all that much. Plus, I feel more awake at night. Oh yeah, I have heard that some races don't need as much sleep. Maybe 3 to 4 hours within a 24-hour period. Guess that's good for someone in his position. Well, it's fine. Again, I was only joking. I do enjoy watching this wolf get flustered. You're just full of jokes, aren't you? He shakes his head with a slight laugh, sighing as he looks at the floor. One of his teeth hangs out of his mouth in a goofy way. I take this moment of silence to get down to business. Does the king request my presence? I realized that it was a bit foolish of me to dress for the occasion before even considering that I might not even get to meet the king today. I'm just looking forward to meeting him and discussing any certain matters that pertain to my job. I'm not even sure the king knows that you're awake at this moment, but I assume he'll find out shortly. Most likely you'll be able to speak with him during supper tomorrow. That does sound interesting. I definitely wouldn't mind having a nice meal right now. Speaking of supper, I'm very hungry. Don't worry, that's already been taken care of. Leaf would have sent for one of the servers to bring you some food by now. Especially since they won't have to feed you with that weird tube. Did they seriously have to do that? I feel sick at the thought. Only twice, and don't worry, it's not that bad. Little twerp may be a bit weird at times, but he knows his way around medicine and has been able to achieve things most wouldn't even imagine to be possible. Lyle has an odd relationship with the bird. Sounds like he respects him, though. From what I've seen, he seems to know his way around his work, and I trust him. He seems pretty jumpy, though. I wouldn't imagine he's the best at surgery. Then again, I'm still here. Unless he had help. So, how did you find yourself in your position? All right, we're going to discuss his resume in the next episode. I got dinner here, getting cold, and this is the first episode, so it's going to be a bit before we actually get to the point where we could space out episodes by updates. Let me know what y'all think of this game. I think the art style is very nice. I think the music's very nice. It's spaced out a lot. There's a lot of silence so far, but where the music's phenomenal. Hey, oh, look at this. It's like, oh, they're going to save you're going to save on me. Yay. That's so nice. I like it a lot. I like a lot of aspects about it. And first impressions, are always, you see similarities here and there, but you don't really get to know a story from the first few pages. You really got to get into it to really see the meat and potatoes of it all. So, yeah, I look forward to getting to the meat and potatoes of this meal that I have getting cold next to me. So, thank y'all for watching. I'll talk to y'all again later. Have a nice day.